Goodbye, Nancy's. We're coming for you. Goodbye, Nancy's. We know what you do. Goodbye, Nancy's. We're coming for you. Peter Thiel and Austin Russell. Goodbye. Jeez Louise, look at them Nancy's. Oh, brother man. Oh, wee, look at these guys. Hey, just a reminder so no one forgets. These are Nancy's too. National Zionists. We hate them. Oh, what's this? Who's this? What the frick is that? Come on, girls. Come on, Austin. Let's go. Listen to me. Hey guys, in the next installment of Is Cat Dad Going Crazy? Or is this just a character that he does on the internet and he wants to be entertaining? I don't know. Ask your Fed. Probably say that he's nuts, but that's alright, dudes. That's what they're gonna do. We know they're gonna say we're crazy. They're gonna say we're crazy until they gotta do something bigger. Dude, I swear to God I've seen this guy somewhere before. Dude, who are these people? Who is this man? Who is this boy? Who is this blurry guy? Who's this sad guy? Who's this stern guy? Who's this totally photoshopped guy? This is the most Lee Harvey Oswald Photoshop I've ever seen. This is so 1942 Photoshop. It's crazy. Look at this. This is so funny to me. Dude, there's literally jagged lines. We have to discover who this man is. This is a Photoshop. I don't know why. Why is this randomly photoshopped in here? And you know what's interesting too? Look at this. Wait, don't look at that. Hold on. Not that. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, so one thing that's interesting is that guy was involved, right? And it says, but his picture's not included on the Wikipedia. Anyway, what are we talking about today, guys? Well, we're talking about a bunch of Nancys that I think snuck over here and with the help of the FBI and the CIA. Anyway, well, guys, I have a nutty theory. And yes, feds, I understand that this is crazy too. Because if it's true, dude, it would mean that our entire government is 100% part of the German royal family, okay? Believe me, I don't want this to be true either. I want to be nuts. I wish that I was nuts. Hey, feds, keep trying, but you're never going to get anyone to believe that I'm nuts. You know who's nuts? All the people who aren't nuts in this crazy world that we live in. A world where it looks like maybe someone took a boat and ran it into a bridge. I really hope that whoever did that gets caught one day and gets punished. And we bet that it's going to be TikTok's fault, right? Amen, brother. But guys, when I read this story about the submarine saboteurs, I saw fishy business. I said, brother, this sounds like FBI involvement. Yes, it does. It do sound like FBI involvement. But what the frick happened, you're asking? Well, in 1942, a bunch of Nancys snuck into America and they said, we're gonna do big bad things to your infrastructure. We're gonna blow up a bridge. We're gonna blow up the Niagara Falls. We're gonna frickin' blow up aluminum making company. We're gonna do another thing. We are menaces. We are here to cause chaos. And then one of them on the first night was like, I'm scared. I'm not a Nancy. I came all this way and I'm gonna turn myself in. And he called the FBI and he's like, hey, I'm a Nancy. And they were like, dude, shut up. Get off the phone. Stop calling us. And he said, okay, hold on. Then he took a train to DC where he then met with the FBI and then was like, hey, I'm a freaking Nancy. Come on. Lock me up. If I tell you about being a Nancy, I get the death penalty. And I also have a order that if I tell on myself that my comrades are gonna have to execute me. But night one, I said, I'm scared. scared, and then ran to the FBI. Let's see how the story went. On June 12, 1942, a German U-boat drops 4 men off the shore of Long Island, New York. The team lands at Amagansett, where they are spotted by Coast Guardsman John C. Cullen. What is on his face? Cullen reports the incident to his superiors, who search the area and find a cache of explosives, but the men are gone. Days later, another team of 4 men lands in Florida. They had all been sent to the U.S. by Schmittler. Oh no! Their mission: to create havoc by sabotaging key U.S. infrastructure. Look at that guy. One of the saboteurs, George Dash, tries to turn himself in to the FBI in New York. He travels to Washington, D.C. and checks into the Mayflower Hotel. He finally convinces the FBI to meet him in room 351, where he reveals the entire plot, like 2 days after. With Dash's info, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover orders a manhunt for the other saboteurs. All 8 men are tracked down and taken into custody within 2 weeks. President Franklin Roosevelt orders that the men be tried in a military tribunal. The Nancy Saboteurs face 4 charges, including violating the law of war. The 7 generals who preside over the trial convict the saboteurs and sentence them to death. Even the guy because he helped the FBI, Roosevelt reduces George Dash and Ernest Berger's sentences to life in prison. The other 6 saboteurs are executed by electric chair on August 8th, 1942. Through like a week, 2 weeks after, the bodies are quietly buried in unmarked graves at DC. The graves are then largely forgotten. In 2006, an unauthorized memorial to the saboteurs is discovered near the gravesite. The memorial was likely placed there decades earlier by the American Nancy Party. The Park Service removes the memorial in 2010, citing the trial of the Nancy Saboteurs as a precedent. Do you hear that? In 2006, they were using this trial as precedent to illegally detain people. And I love this, guys. This is so amazing to me. Do you see what the camp is called in Guantanamo Bay? Camp Black Site, Camp Justice. Dude, they know they're goofing on us. The United States begins using military tribunals in 2001 to try suspected terrorists. With that trial, 9/11. Okay, that's great, guys. But anyway, guys, so then I starts reading, right? I'm like, what the frick? Supposedly this thing's called Operation Pastorius, right? Which was a failed German intelligence plan for sabotage inside the United States during World War II. Failed on day 1, remember? George just came and he said, I can't do this, I came all this way. I just need to turn myself in. The operation was named by Admiral Wilhelm Canaris, Chief of German Abwehr, for Francis Daniel Pastorius, the organizer of the first organized settlement of Germans in America. The plan involved 8 German saboteurs who had previously spent time in the United States. The plan quickly failed after 2 of the agents, George Dash and Ernest Berger, defected to the FBI shortly after being deployed, betraying the other 6 men. A military tribunal whose constitutionality was challenged to the Supreme Court sentenced all 8 to death later that year. No, like a couple weeks later, dude. President Roosevelt commuted the sentences of Dash and Berger while the other 6 were executed. In 1948, Dash and Berger were granted executive clemency conditional on their permanent deportation to the American occupation zone in Germany. They were probably sending them back to go work for for West Germany, dude. Okay, recruited for Operation Pastorius were 8 Germans who had lived in the United States. 2 of them, Ernst Berger and Herbert Haupt, were American citizens. The others, George Dash, Edward John Curling, Richard Quirin, Heinrich Harm Henk, Hermann Otto Neubauer, and Werner Thiel had worked at various jobs in the United States. With the exception of Dash, all of the men were members of the German-American Bund and or Nancy Party. Neubauer had served in the German army on the Eastern Front. All 8 were recruited into the Abwehr and were given 3 weeks of intensive sabotage training in the German High Command. The agents were instructed in the manufacture and use of explosives. Considerable time was spent developing complete background histories they were to use in the United States. They were encouraged to converse in English and read American newspapers and magazines to improve their English and familiarity. So all of these guys were executed except for these first 2, right? That's the story. They came here, and on day 1, these 2 went and freaking ratted, and they all went quietly. And then 2 weeks later, there was a trial. And then like a couple weeks later, they were all sentenced to death and executed within like a week. Oh, brother. Their mission was to sabotage American economic targets, hydroelectric plants in Niagara Falls, the aluminum company of America's plants in Illinois, Tennessee, and New York, locks on the Ohio River, Pensalt Chemicals, and the Pennsylvania Salt Manufacturing Company in Hornwells Heights, the Pennsylvania Railroad's Horseshoe Curve, a crucial railroad pass near Altoona, as well as their repair shops at Altoona, the Pensalt Creolite, a raw material in the production of fluorine and aluminum, the Hell Gate Bridge in New York, and Pennsylvania Station in Newark. The agents were also instructed to spread a wave of terror by planting explosives on bridges, railroad stations, water facilities, public places, and Jewish-owned shops. They were given counterfeit birth certificates, social security cards, draft deferment cards, nearly $175,000 in American money, and driver's licenses, and put aboard 2 U-boats to land on the East Coast. And you know what? When I read that, I was like, oh, bro, this is what I think the FBI is going to do right now. This is kind of what they're doing. You know, we are helicopter gate, right? I keep looking at it. They keep circling the frickin' Hell Gate Bridge. What is up with that, bro? Because to me, it's giving East Palestine. Yeah, it's giving me this. It's giving me ship crash.
Yo, what?
Agreed, brother.
What the?
Yeah, what the frick?
No shot.
Yeah.
No shot.
Yeah, dude. It's the FBI. It's giving me New York City sewer explosion, you know? Oh! It gives you, like, National Guard being deployed in the subway for no reason type of vibes, right? What about the National Guard being all over the path of the eclipse? Huh? What about that? What do you think they're doing? Maybe it's for something else. Maybe they're going to keep doing a string of these so that then they can use the Patriot Act to do whatever. But boys, take a look. Here, the inside story of how a Nancy plot to sabotage the U.S. war effort was foiled. J. Edgar Hoover's FBI took the credit, but it was really only because of a German defector that the plans were blown. This is the Hell Gate Bridge. This is the one that set my butterfly alarm off, my butterfly in my tummy alarm, and then it set off my wee-oo, wee-oo, wee-oo. So I noticed that they've been looking at this. It's one of their many stops when the helicopters be coming around, right? Dude, look at this. It's right here, dog. Look, bro. Here's one of the times that they're right there. They're just like, okay, let me go get a look at that bridge. I gotta get by that bridge. But they're obsessed with the bridges, and I think I know why. I think that they, just like, you guys know how 9/11 was taken from the playbook that they were going to use against Cuba? You know how they had like 2,000 different plans to use against Cuba to like assassinate them and to like cause war with them? Well, they literally in like the 50s, they were like, hey, what if we throw a plane at one of our buildings and then we say it was Cuba? And they were like, that's nuts. You'd have to be nuts to do that. And then they did it 40 years later. Hey, another thing that they suggested in those same documents was that they should have a submarine go off the coast of Cuba and do this is CIA's wording, spectacular light show and try and convince the Cubans that Jesus returned. You could never see them doing something like that, right? Right? They aren't like thinking about doing that soon with the eclipse, are they? I hope not, because that would be weird. That would be very odd. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, one of their targets is this bridge that I noticed that they are obsessed with. And they keep, here, look, there's the point right there. See? This is where we were. Bro, I'm telling you, it's freaking me out. Where's my picture? Let me put my picture together with this. Look. See? Take a look. See? Oh, there you go. Have a look-see there. Hey, yeah, there you go. Look-see. Well, it's right here, but that's too close for comfort for me, doggy. I don't want to see All Wise Opal driving a freaking cargo ship up and through the East River, bro. You can't do that, Paul. We already saw the thing in Baltimore. But yeah, so anyway, guys, You know what? When I heard all this, I was like, 8 guys were going to do that, and they all gave up on day one. This story sounds like BS to me. This sounds like maybe if I'm the FBI and I am a national Zionist, I'd be like, okay, the way that we can get everyone to be more brutal is to say that we're being infiltrated and show all the scary things that you had to use against us. That's one way that we can start escalating all this stuff, right? And they're like, what? That would involve us doing like a lot of acting and a lot of lying. We'd have to lie about stuff. We're honorable men. And then everyone was like, ha 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 ha, we're just kidding. We went to Yale. We were part of the Skull and Bones. Yeah, they also said the Williamsburg Bridge, they were going to do those. They're going to do everything, dude. They were very ambitious. But on day one, they said, this is too much. This is exhausting. Let's pack it in, boys. Let's turn ourselves in. But yeah, reading through all that, I was like, this sounds like a cover story. This all sounds like a cover story. Then when I heard about the trial and stuff, I was like, this is an FBI plot, if I've ever heard one. Okay, so yeah, they were gonna sabotage everything, right? They were like, we're gonna sabotage every single bridge in America. We're gonna do the chemical plant. We're gonna get Pennsylvania Station in New Jersey and Newark. We're gonna spread a wave of terror like no one's ever seen. They gave us counterfeit birth certificates, all this nonsense, and then they literally walked in the day one and turned themselves in. Come on, brother. Listen to this too. Here we go. This is one of those specific details that is working in my favor. Even before the mission began, it was in danger of being compromised as George Dash, commander of the team, left confidential documents on a train, and one of the agents, while drunk, announced to patrons in a Paris tavern that he was a secret agent. This is the most CIA plan in history. On the night of June 12th, 13th, the first submarine to arrive in the U.S., U-202, commanded by Captain Hans Heinz Linder, landed at Amgansett. The team was launched in inflatable rafts in which Dash nearly drowned and came ashore wearing German Navy uniforms so that if they were captured, they would be classified as prisoners of war rather than spies. What? They were brought their explosives, primers, and incendiaries and buried them with their uniforms and put on civilian clothes to begin an expected 2-year campaign. Immediately upon reaching the beach at around 30 minutes past midnight, the saboteurs were discovered amidst the dunes by unarmed Coast Guardsman John C. Cullen, who was accosted by Dash and offered a bribe of $300. He had $175,000 and dude, come on. Cullen had been shortchanged. The money only amounted to $260. Cullen feigned cooperation but reported the encounter. An armed patrol returned to the site, finding 4 crates of explosives and some German uniforms that had been hastily buried in the sand, as well as fuses and pre-made bombs, but the Germans were gone, having taken the Long Island Railroad from Amgansett to Manhattan. They checked into a hotel, and the FBI informed of the operation by the Coast Guard, initiated a manhunt for the saboteurs. Did they? Because it sounds like George Dash called and was like, hey, I'm here. And they were like, what? No, we don't want to talk to you. Stop calling us. So then, okay, here's the next part of their story. While in the Manhattan hotel, Dash, clearly unnerved by the encounter with the Coast Guard, called Berger into their upper story hotel room and opened a window saying they would talk, and if they disagreed, only one of us will walk out that door. Other one will fly out this window. Dash told him he had no intention of going through with the mission. He hated Nazism, and he planned to report the plot to the FBI, and he was yelling this in his hotel hallway, banging on everyone's door, I'm sure. He's like, hey, I'm a Nancy. Remember when Omar Mateen, the Pulse nightclub shooter, when he went and he shot everyone, and then he called 911 4 times, and he kept saying, hey, I'm from ISIS. I'm an Islamist militant man. I hate gay people. Do you remember when he did this? And then the FBI was like, yeah, we got him. I'm just bringing that up. Totally separate. It has nothing to do with this. But yeah, so Dash was like, I hate Nazism. I never wanted to come here. I just trained for it. I got on the submarine. I freaking got off the submarine. I almost drowned. I swam onto the beach. I put on my civilian clothes. I went on the Long Island Railroad. I got to the hotel. And then I said, this is a bridge too far, guys. I can't do this. You want me to take bridges down? I have a soul. I am an FBI agent. He had aspirations to work for the FBI, it seems like. Why else would he call them? Bro, this stuff is nutty. On June 15th, Dash phoned the New York office of the FBI, gave his name as Franz Pastorius. I thought that, didn't they start a manhunt? I thought the manhunt was on. They can't check hotel rooms? Dude, these people, like, come on, dude. How dumb do you think we are? Dash phoned the New York office of the FBI, gave his name as Franz Pastorius, the namesake of the operation, and explained the plot, but ended the call when the agent answering doubted his story and thought he was a crackpot. That is the FBI's move. You're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy. Shut up, stop saying this. Stop saying this out loud. Stop talking about Paul Weisopel. Stop talking about the Key Bridge. Stop. Yeah, maybe I am crazy. Or maybe I'm a time traveler. Maybe I'm from the future. Maybe I'm talking truth. Maybe that's why the feds don't like me this much. Wouldn't the feds like me if I was spreading conspiracy and misinformation? Right? Like, I feel like I'd be getting paid. Like, cancel this conspiracy. Like, Eddie Liger. Like, all these other clowns that I think are working together to bring National Zionism to all of us. You know? But that's just my opinion, and I'm just a crackpot, see? Meow. Anyway, but yeah, so you guys know that nothing I say is real, right? It's all fake, and I'm literally insane, right? You guys know this. You guys do know this, right? Did I forget to tell you? I'm actually literally insane. I'm in a mental institution right now. Where do you think I got the tinfoil? Arts and crafts time. I was good for a couple weeks. I got tinfoil and I got popsicle sticks. And I got the popsicle sticks taken away. Dang it. But anyway, back to our little investigation here. Our little fantasy investigation in my head. Okay. 4 days later, he took a train to D.C. and walked into FBI headquarters, where he gained the attention of Assistant Director D.M. Ladd by showing him the operation's budget of $84,000 cash. None of the other 6 German agents were aware of the betrayal. During the next 2 weeks, Berger and the other 6 were arrested. Dash hoped that he would be hailed as a hero for exposing the plot, but the FBI had other plans. J. Edgar Hoover made no mention of him and claimed credit for the FBI for capturing the saboteurs. Dude, that is so J. Edgar Hoover, guys. Holy guacamole. Since they were caught before they could do anything, officials were initially unsure of how to proceed against the saboteurs. Attorney General Francis Biddle estimated that at best the German saboteurs could be convicted of conspiracy and face up to 3 years in prison, while Berger and Haupt could be tried for treason. His alternative proposal was imprisoning them as POWs for the remainder of the war. So, okay, they did bad, but it's not that bad of a punishment. It's fair. They didn't hurt anyone. They turned themselves in, so, why spank them on the hiney? You would want to encourage that type of behavior, right? Turn yourself in if you're here. We're not going to spank your hiney. However, Roosevelt deemed these proposals unacceptable. He said the Americans were guilty of treason and thus liable of court-martials. As for the Germans, he said they'd forfeited their right to civilian trials since they were waging battle within our country. Roosevelt then said he wanted all of the saboteurs to be immediately executed. To do that, he told Biddle he would use his presidential powers to convene a military tribunal to prosecute the saboteurs, something not done on American soil since the end of the American Civil War. He sent another memo to Biddle. I want one thing clear. Understand, Francis, I won't hand them over to the United States Marshal armed with a writ of habeas corpus. Understand? He's like, I'm a tough guy. Print this in the news. Tell everyone how tough I'm being with these German Nancys. And make sure you say that we foiled this scheme before it went off. The government, the good guys. So anyway, the trial was held, and lawyers for the accused included Lucenstone and Kenneth Royal. They attempted to have the case in civilian court, but they were rebuffed by the United States Supreme Court. They said a case was later cited as precedent for the trial by military commission for the unlawful combatant against the United States. The trial for the 8 defendants ended on August 1st, 1942. So that's what? July, August. So less than 1 month after landing in Long Island, they were caught, rounded up, and had a trial. Less than 1 month after getting caught. 2 days later, all were found guilty and sentenced to death. Roosevelt commuted Berger's sentence to life in prison and Dash's to 30 years because they had surrendered themselves and provided information about the others. The nice thing was 30 years in prison. The others were executed on August 8th. Dude, 7 days later. So 1 month and July 2nd. 1 month and 6 days after landing here, they were caught, imprisoned, tried, and frickin' executed. All of them. They executed all of them for doing nothing. They turned themselves in. Isn't that hilarious? So anyway, the others were executed on August 8th, 1942 in the electric chair on the third floor of the District of Columbia Jail and buried in a potter's field in the Blue Plains neighborhood of the Anacostia area of Washington. The aftermath. The failure of Operation Pastorius caused Hitler to rebuke Admiral Canaris, and no sabotage attempt was ever made again in the United States. During the remaining years of the war, the Germans only once more dispatched agents to the United States. After a month of high living in New York City, but no espionage gathering, one of the men turned themselves... Oh, wait, no. Hold on. Here's another good part. 16 people, including Herbert Haupt's mother, father, were arrested for aiding the saboteurs. The last person to be arrested was Lutheran pastor Karl Krepper, a member of the American Bund and German-American Business League, who supported boycotting Jewish businesses. Krepper had helped establish safe houses for the saboteurs. And guys, every time you see this National Socialist Party, know that is a misnomer. It is the National Zionist Party. They change it to socialist to change your brain about socialism. Everything is a magic trick, guys. All right, let's see how the news told the story, okay? Let's see what they says.
Mr. J. Edgar Hoover and his G-men have a tremendous job watching nearly 5,000 miles of coast for enemy sneak invader.
Dude, look at them. All they're doing is acting. They're literally acting.
Nearly 5,000 miles of coast for enemy sneak invaders. These official American pictures show how cases of explosives and other means of sabotage from
They were going to blow up every bridge in America with these 4 cases.
Germany were found buried in the Florida sands by 8 Nazi
They buried them 6 inches under the sand.
spies. Captured equipment included uniforms for the spies after landing, a money belt containing 170,000 American dollars.
Look at that. He's like, it's a piece of cloth. Do you see? Do you see what this is? Cloth. He's like, hey, take a look at this. He's like, do you see? We were giving supplies. We gave medical supplies to Palestine. Do you see? Look. Says it right there. Idiot.
American dollars to finance deeds of destruction, and some innocent-looking pens and pencils which in reality are heavily charged incendiaries. Now listen to a word from Mr. Hoover, chief of the G-men.
Look at that matchstick.
The recent landing of saboteurs from Nazi submarines sounded a new alert for all Americans. They were apprehended before they could carry out their plans of destruction.
The trial of the would-be saboteurs is held in strictest secrecy, one of the witnesses being the former fiancé of Herbert Haupt, one of the accused. They were put ashore from U-boats to spread destruction, but now the people of the United States are demanding their destruction, for the penalty is death. They're lucky, for in Nazi Germany there wouldn't even be a trial.
Yeah, and in America, there would be a 2-week trial where they're all executed for doing nothing. Supposedly, that's what I heard anyway. But guess what, guys? I'm going out on a limb here. Based on what I know about Paul Weisopel, I'm gonna say this story smells like bullshit. And I think it's bullshit, and I think that they're going to use this again. I think that that's what is happening right now. They're basically they're using this idea where they say, look, there's a bunch of saboteurs. They're gonna say that Hamas is here at some point sabotaging us. Bet, bro. They're gonna say H group is here. H group. Oh, they're under the Francis Scott Key Bridge. They were. I swear they were. They freaking were, dude. And they're like, look, where they're gonna get the Hellgate Bridge. They're gonna get it. And then NYPD helicopter flies by and then drops, does the Move City bombing to it. They're like, yeah, look. Oh, the frickin' H group, they took an NYPD helicopter, and then they also went inside the armory and they took boom booms from the armory, and then yeah, that's what they did. They totally did that. They did that. But guys, when I heard the frickin' story about the 14 extra people that are associated with these people that all just got life sentences or got tried and arrested for treason, and then were just like forgot about a couple years later. Like, look, here's Herbert Hans Haupt. Here's one of the guys who got executed. He's a cutie. Dude, I feel like we are going to this. I don't know this, but I have a sinking suspicion that all of these guys are like Mr. Peter Thiel. I don't know who this person is. I don't know who this person is. I don't know who this person is. I know who the fuck this person. Well, I know this person in my soul. I know that this person is related to the Adlers, the Clyers. This is Roger. This looks exactly like Roger Clay. And guys, yes, we're going off of facial features. But a name, Thiel. We know that the Thiels and the Clyers are somehow related. But yeah, so look, these three people that were all associated with Werner, she got a life sentence. Maria Curling, wife of Nazi saboteur Edward Curling, was one of 14 people. She had been estranged from her husband for a couple of years and living in New York. She was having a relationship with another man, Ernest Kirchhoff, who was also arrested. The only evidence against Maria Curling was that Helmut Lehner, a man who aided the Nancy Saboteurs, attempted to arrange a meeting between Maria and her husband. Anthony Kramer, friend of Nancy Saboteur, this guy, is given 45 years. For what? He was charged in civilian court with aiding 8 Nancy Saboteurs. Kramer was a close friend of Werner Thiel, one of 8 German Nancy Saboteurs who landed by U-boat. Kramer was born in Allendorf, Germany in 1900 and served in the German army during World War I. He arrived in the United States in 1925. He was a member of the Friends of New Germany. He had dinner with both Thiel and Edward Curling, another of the saboteurs, while in New York. Thiel gave Kramer $3,600 for safekeeping, which Kramer put in a safe deposit box. Kramer was charged and convicted of treason and sentenced to 45 years in prison plus a $10,000 fine. 45 years, dude, for grabbing $3,000? Dude, the prosecution and its witnesses could demonstrate only an association and not that Kramer had given aid and comfort as defined in Article 3. Jackson wrote that the jury had been given no evidence that Kramer had even paid for their drinks. As such, the majority opinion held the associations were insufficient to convict Kramer for treason. Dude, Kramer pled guilty and was sentenced to 6 years in prison. The judge remarked that it was 10 years except for blah, blah, blah. Dude, I smell so many rats. It's just rats, baby. Who is this? I need y'all to figure out who each of these people is. I think that this is Thiel's uncle or Thiel's dad. It's one of them, I think, in my opinion. I think there's like 3 Thiel brothers. There's Werner. Peter says that his dad's name is Klaus. But there's also a Herbert Thiel. See, look at this. Herbert Thiel, 55 of Cadiz, will be... so 2 nephews, Peter Thiel and Patrick Thiel, which is our Peter Thiel and Patrick Thiel. His brother Klaus, which, dude, I'm going to say Herbert is Werner. I think Herbert is Werner. So it's Herbert is... Dude, I think I'm right, bro. I don't want to be right. Oh, look at this sat. He's like, oh, I'm going to get executed. But maybe now I'm running Universal Music Group or something. Who knows? What about this guy? Dude, they all look so freaking familiar. Oh, what is it? Okay, this one is Herman Otto Neubauer. Anyway, guys, Dude, I'm pretty sure all these dudes, this is what they do, right? They execute people. Like the DC Madam, Deborah Palfrey, there's been some credible claims and pictures of her still being alive. Anyway, guys, this whole plot is all just too perfect. It feels like what they're doing right now, and I need everyone to be suspicious of all the stuff that they're saying. This is what they're going to do. They're going to have a spree of terror events that are done by H Group, and we've got to stop them. And the only way we can do that is if we pen in all of Manhattan or whatever, Brooklyn, and we just do gospel like we did in Gaza. It worked there, guys. We could do it again. Like, I don't know, guys. This is all just like such BS. The one time that the justice system works is like for these guys. It's such BS. It's all a fucking cover. At this point, you can like see it just by the way the photos are taken and stuff. These monsters, dude. So yeah, I don't think they killed any of these people. And that's just my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe did you guys know that in Buffalo, when this kid drove like 400 miles or whatever to this Buffalo grocery store just by chance, where the inventor of water engine worked as a security guard? Because you can't be a water engine inventor and get paid, you idiot. This is the fourth good cop, probably. Aaron Salter Jr., one of the guys who got gunned down by this National Zionist madman who thinks that he is the Aryan race. He's the superior being. Look at that mustache. And for anyone who thinks that that guy did not invent a water engine, check out his patent. It's pretty sweet, right? It's pretty cool. Dang. Seems pretty smart. Dang. Okay. This patent's online. You can check it out. See? There's the patent number. Go look it up. It's real. Oh yeah, look at all these guys. All these guys that definitely aren't National Zionists and definitely don't work for the FBI. Did you know that the guy who was in charge of the Las Vegas shooting was also in charge of the Lahaina fire? And he kind of reminds me of our friend, Mr. Paul Wysopiel, the homie, Mr. Timothy McVeigh. But, OKC, John Benet Ramsey. There's another car guy, or no, he's not a car guy, but he's another Michigan guy, and his dad, was in charge of stuff. But yeah, anyway, guys, I'm sick of these frickin' Nancys. I'm pretty sure these frickin' Nancys are everywhere, dude. They're frickin' everywhere. Ugh. But, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this could possibly be a Nancy? Possibly a Nancy that's related to Roger or Austin or Werner or Klaus or Herbert or Peter or Elon? Dude, I'm almost positive all these dudes are National Zionists. They are the Fourth Reich, literally. And we have to do something, bro. Because I am Lieutenant Aldo Rain, and I am here to collect my Russell and Roger and Austin scalps and Peter Teals. I will collect them scalps, boy. Come on, Austin. Test me, chicken. I freaking had it up to here with these Nancys, dog. I'm done with them. I'm done with all these Nancys over here. Look, all these ones, no more. National Zionists, blah, blah, National Zionists, blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh, look at the carnage that we've witnessed, bro. I did this in 2.5 minutes. I wish that I had 40 hours to fill in all the rest. Drop in all the names in the comments, boys. Look at our friend Aaron. Oh my gosh, our cops, our favorite cops, the only 3 good ones. Hey guys, look at all these YouTubies and stuff that are part of this. I think their families escaped the rats and then they hid in Argentina or wherever. Or they're Mormons. I don't give a shit. Either way, I hate them, right? But yeah, we're coming for you, Nancys. It's over. We're coming for all you. Guys, I need everyone to find every single one of these people. Who are they? They're in our government or in our media or in somewhere. They're everywhere and nowhere. We gotta get them, boys. And it all started from this little rat. Where is this dirty rat? There he is. Ugh. Little Edelweiss boy. Okay, so anyway, guys, you're gonna have to hang in here with me, okay? Here's my overall theory. This is what we're working toward, okay? I think that maybe all the frickin' Nancys, remember Alan Dulles? Alan Dulles did a thing called Operation Papy Clippy, right? You ever heard of it? Oh, it's a little thing where we brought, like, what was it? 1 billion Nancys over who were scientists and stuff. And we said, Wernher von Braun, we said, he was a good Nancy. He used slave labor, yes, openly, willingly. Yes, he worked for Schmittler. Yes, he was literally making boom booms. But he learned the error of his ways. He said, I will say anything to shoot more rockets. So, will you have me, America? And they said, yes, brother, we will. No questions asked. Look at this. All right, guys, I've told this story before. You've heard it before. I've been to Huntsville, Alabama, where there is a NASA museum. I've seen one of the rockets that they say went to the moon. It's big. It looks cool. But in this museum, right, they've got Wernher von Braun's entire desk perfectly the same way he left it on that horrible day that this Nancy perished. Anyway, they've got a nice big old portrait of him. They have not whatsoever in any way, shape, or form atoned for their sins or said anything like, maybe we shouldn't have brought this Nancy over here, and maybe we shouldn't have named a bunch of stuff after him, and maybe we shouldn't have given him complete access to our entire government and the space agency that it runs. Because maybe one day, maybe he would do some nefarious dealings. Maybe like, I don't know, trying to bring the Fourth Reich here, you know? I'm just saying, I would question if there was a Nancy who fought with the Nancys for the whole war, and then after they lost was like, yeah, can I come over? I'll be good. But when you realize that our government and the people who ran it really liked all the Nancys, it's not really that hard to believe. But anyway, dude, look, they've got his Nancy chair in his Nancy office where you can take Nancy pictures of it, and a point of the tour is that they point at this chair and they go, yeah, look, do you see that little splotch right there? You see that little area? Yeah, that's actually his Nancy head where his Nancy hair gel rested against the back of his chair. They point that out, and then you go, ew, 1, clean it. 2, get this Nancy shit the fuck up out of NASA, please, immediately. Woo! Anyway, but I'm the crazy one, guys. I'm cuckoo bananas. I'm nuts. Just like the feds are telling you. And so are these people. I'm not saying that they're mutually exclusive. I'm saying we both are, guys. But anyway, guys, so we know about these three. The guy that they let run the CIA and MK Ultron, he was a Nancy. Arthur Rudolph, he was a Nancy. Wernher von Braun, NASA administrator. Nancy NASA administrator. And then these are the 1,000 German scientists that they let come over here. No questions asked. They still probably run Huntsville. Then, guys, we've been through the dubs, the H-dubs. We know about this one. And I hate to say it, guys, there's way more. Otto Skorzeny is the guy. He's this guy down here. He was Schmittler's bodyguard, I mean. He's this guy with the scar. And he lived in Florida next to this guy named Eric O'Ryan. And he says, Alan Dulles and H.W. Bush screwed him out of money over the years, and in 1996 or something, or 2001 or something, 1999, Otto Skorzeny opened up to his friend Eric O'Ryan in the greatest book ever written, The Bush Connection. And Otto Skorzeny said, I'm going to come clean because George H.W. Bush has not been paying me. He said, my allegiance to the CIA is dead because they stopped paying me. So again, guys, it's all about money. It's all about sad people who think that money, a fake delusion that all humans share, they think that that is going to bring them happiness. But instead, they were a Nancy for their whole life. And in the end, he ended up telling on himself because he was a Nancy, dude. Like, come on. But anyway, so this guy says that the CIA is the Fourth Reich. And he backs that up by saying that all these people that we supposedly killed in the Nuremberg trials and executed, he says we didn't. And let's remember, guys, this was Alan Dulles's OSS and CIA. Oh my God. So yeah, anyway, they apparently the story is that after the Nuremberg trials, the CIA brought them all to like Argentina and Brazil, hid them out for a decade or whatever, and then slowly started bringing them all back to West Germany. There was a security guard named Galen, and he worked with Alan Dulles, and they let him run the West Germany police. Literally, they gave the police directly back to the Nancys immediately. So anyway, this guy, Alois Brunner, war criminal. This dude, you ever heard of him? Reinhard Galen. Hey, did you ever hear that Frank Wisner, you know, that CIA agent who offed himself in the 60s? Guess what? He didn't. He was still alive. Walter Ralph, still alive. Or, you know, after. This is the most egregious. And this is how I know that Eric O'Ryan tells no lies. See, remember how I always say, I'm interested in when people give me stuff that's very specific, but also weird. Right? You want to hear a specific and weird fact about this guy surviving? Eric O'Ryan says that he is the one who did the anthrax. The CIA ordered the anthrax stuff to be done by Joseph Mengele from New Jersey or something. Look at this guy, dude. He's on The Sopranos. And this guy, dude, can you believe this? Literally from Schmittler, dude, and he got Tesla? This is unbelievable. Anyway, I stumbled upon this story, the 1942 Long Island Submarine Saboteurs story, because I saw, when I was Googling Peter Thiel, you know, we got a little thing here with Austin and Roger, you know, this type of stuff. Me, Dante, and Nicole are the Inglorious Nitwitches, and I am Lieutenant Al Dalrain, and I need 1,000 Nancy scalps. Dude, especially because they're from the Third Reich, they're trying to do the Fourth Reich. But anyway, so I stumbled onto this story by looking at Peter Thiel stuff. And you know what? This guy's name is Werner Thiel. Now, we already know that Dante and Nicole have already done the research that we know that this guy, Austin Russell, right? He was going to buy Forbes with Mr. Beast. He and this guy, Roger Clay, he's a dude who was on TikTok for a while that Nicole and Dante ran off because it seemed like he was doing king trafficking on here. He was getting young people to come into his lives and promising them like music careers and that he would pay for music videos. This is Olivia. This is a girl that he did a live with once and then she disappeared. I'm not saying that he her, but she's not around. She's probably at an asylum or something. Because they said, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're seeing S trafficking everywhere? You're nuts, you're nuts, you're nuts. 5150 her. Sounds familiar, right? Nice try. You will never stop me. You will never split me and my friends up. Ever. But anyway, guys. So we know that these two guys, right? Austin here and Roger, they are literally directly related to a man whose name was Henry Ludwig Kleyer. Now, he owned a place called Adler Work. And you know what's funny is it's another car thing, you know? It's a car company. They made a frickin', dude, you're never going to believe this. They made a frickin' car called the Adler Trumpf in 1935. Look, the Adler Trumpf is a small family car introduced by the Frankfurt-based automaker Adler in March 1932, with Trumpf production fully starting in the late summer. So look at this. This is Adler Work. This is the building where they made Adler cars. Look, where do you think this is? This is not in America. This is absolutely not in America. You know why? It's because it was a concentration camp. Nancy Historic Site Adler Work opened. Right now, it's a memorial for a Nancy concentration camp. The collective grave of the 528 prisoners of Katzbach concentration camp in the Adler Work. The Adler Work in Frankfurt am Main was badly damaged by the Allied airstrikes in 1944. To counter the labor shortage in arms production, the company recruited prisoners from concentration camps. To this end, 1,000 detainees were quartered in barracks on the 3rd, 4th floors of the factory in the Frankfurt suburb of Gallus. This camp, the Katzbach camp, was administratively subordinate to the Natzweiler Struth of concentration camp in Alsace. The command kept a 25-man SS unit under the orders of Erich Franz. The Adler Work also deployed support units, which were mainly made up of SA stormtroopers. On August 22, 1944, a command of 200 prisoners arrived in the Adler Work from Buchenwald. The prisoners were mostly Poles who had been involved in the Warsaw Uprising, as were the 1,000 prisoners that Dachau concentration camp had assigned on 29th September. The Katzbach camp operated extermination by labor, resulting in up to 20 people losing their life each day. These losses were replaced by new arrivals on 26 January 1945. 167 prisoners were brought to the camp. Most of these prisoners had also taken part in the Warsaw Uprising and up to that point had been exploited in the Daimler-Benz camp. Dude, the Daimler-Benz camp? You know, we're talking about cars. They're still companies. Dude, Adler is still a company. You're never gonna believe this. On February 1st, 1945, a further 225 prisoners from Auschwitz and Buchenwald concentration camp arrived in Frankfurt. With Allied front approaching, production in the Adler Work was stopped on the 23rd of March, 1945. One day later, around 360 prisoners began the evacuation march, which was later to be referred to as the Death March. The first stage finished at Buchenwald. From there, they continued on to Dachau. Of the 1,600 prisoners, only around 50 survived to the end of the war. 528 prisoners who died in the Adler Work or near the factory were to find their last resting place in the collective grave in the main cemetery. The most frequent causes of death in the Katzbach camp, as noted in the cemetery book, were tuberculosis, damage to the cardiac muscle, or blood poisoning, whilst those who survived the camp talk of malnutrition and hypothermia for want of warm clothing. After the war, the prisoners also spoke of brutal abuse at the hands of the SS and the concentration camp guard, abuse which also frequently resulted in death. 8 cases of shooting and hanging were known. The Katzbach concentration camp had the highest mortality rate of all 28 concentration camps and sub-camps in Hesse. This is what the memorial looks like. And if you want to know what it looks like to scroll through the names of all the victims, here, let's do it real quick. Here, let's take a look. How do you think 528 names seems all in a row? Ready? Austin, pay attention. Look. Oh, we're in the C's. D. G. Did you see that? 14. 34. 17. Look at that. 47. 44. Look at this. We're only at the M's. Okay. Good job. Oh, and that's it, guys. That was it. That was all the names. It was just that, okay? Chill. Freaking chill, guys. Yeah, so anyway, that's the memorial for the 528 prisoners who died and were buried in a communal grave at Adler Work, which was Austin Russell and Roger Clay's family's business. And now they live in America. In memorial, here lie 528 people. They died between August 1944 and March 1945 in the Adler Work in Frankfurt. They were exterminated by work, forced labor. They starved to death, died of exhaustion, of untreated illnesses, or beaten to death. They died in the middle of Frankfurt. The Adler Work was a sub-camp of the Natzweiler concentration camp. The womb he crawled from is still going strong. Bert Brecht. But yeah, so anyway, guys, that's what my interest is in this. I don't like when bullies, especially Nancy bullies, I do not like when they act like Nancy's and they do bad things. So this got us looking, right? So here's the thing. I found this freaking guy, and we're pretty sure that Peter Thiel is a cousin of these guys, right? Of Austin and Roger. And we know for sure that this dude, Nancy, also Roger's grandpa. And then when I typed in Teal one time, I came across this story, the Nancy Saboteurs, and I saw this picture and I was shook. I said, that looks like a frickin' Clyer. That looks like a frickin' Clyer. It also kind of looks like a Tealer. What if the Teal and the Cly were similar friends? What if when they were scurrying like rats? Because look, this is how Austin's family got here. So basically after the war, Alan Dulles hid them in frickin' dude in Brazil or Argentina. I can't remember. Oh my god, dude, this is too good. Look at this collage. I'm making freaking art, guys. Anyway, yeah, look, check this out. This is some fraudulent ass documentation if I've ever seen it. Dude, all this work is based off of hotgirlshavehobbies.com, HGHH. Nicole is a genius, and she uncovered all this stuff, and no one's talking about it because the internet is dead. But check this out. We're pretty sure that this is a man doing deception so that he doesn't get caught as a Nancy. Okay? I know it's a little weird, but you guys gotta remember, these be Nancys running from their war crimes. So anyway, I have a suspicion, I have a theory. This is all just my opinion, but I think these people are all related and or friends, family friends, pretty sure. This guy has given Austin a ton of money. I'm pretty sure that the S trafficking this dude is doing is part of the ring that seems like I've heard rumors of him doing stuff in Haiti. Maybe for the Clinton Foundation, who knows? But like, all of these guys, I'm thinking, guys, be Nancy's. All of them. Bro, it's so bad. It's really bad. Here's some more Joseph Mengele photos. Bro, it's bad. It's bad. So here's what my sinking suspicion is, right? Look, this is George H.W. Bush. Look at him. Look at this little whippersnapper. But that's when he was faking to be American. But yeah, so he came over here when he was 14. Tesla was his target. And I think he did the man-boy love scenario thing, like the Diddy Justin Bieber thing. Because I'm pretty sure that these guys literally think you have to do that. They have to do that to be in the Illuminati or whatever. They're so dumb, dude. They're so lame. But, so guys, just right here, there's a whole lot more Nancys than I'm wanting to admit, right? I don't want this to be true, but I'm pretty sure, dude, there's like a good 20 there that are not dead. And that worried me. Because when I saw this photo of Werner Thiel, I was like, dude, that makes sense. I think he must be his uncle or cousin or something. We know that Peter Thiel's dad is a Nancy, straight up. We know that. We know this is true. Look, I don't even think he hides it. Dude, how jealous of this are you? Look at my freaking masterpiece. It's still coming together, a lot of it. And it's making my computer slow, which is awesome. But all right, dudes. Look, here's Werner's booking photo. Here's a little blurb about Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel once told me his father was a truck driver. In fact, Klaus Thiel was a mining executive and project manager who has not become an American citizen. Klaus Thiel's American colleagues called him the Gestapo. And Peter visited Klaus at least once in Papua New Guinea. It was interesting. Klaus Thiel was from Germany. We used to call him the Gestapo. He was a kind of a stocky, short guy, and he'd walk in, and I said, here comes the Gestapo. He'd dictate with the German accent. You want to know something really, 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 really scary? You want to see something scary? All right, well, you asked. Okay, so according to our friend here, Eric O'Ryan, he claims that Curious George got a little too curious with his friends over at the Skull and Bones Society, at Yale. And apparently, Germany's surrender document that they signed to end World War II has been tampered with and messed with and erased. So, see here where it says that they give up on May 8th blank? Well, Eric O'Ryan suspects that that was done on purpose and that means that Germany never actually surrendered to America because on Russia's copy of it, they do have the date. But Eric O'Ryan here makes a concerning case for the fact that he thinks that Germany, the Fourth Reich, at some point is just going to use squatters' rights and take over America. Under international law, territory can be acquired through adverse possession. The continuous and peaceful display of territorial sovereignty is as good as a title. Prerequisite is the practice of effective domination, which is documented to the outside world, which takes place undisturbed, uninterrupted, and undisputedly. The period for effective adverse possession depends on the circumstances. With Schmittler, Prescott, and H.W. Bush's help, Nancy Germany established thousands of sovereign territories throughout America. This is so good, right? Throughout America, England, France, Canada, and Italy after 1945. The Bush New World Order Nancys have been secretly hiding and planning their takeover of America in underground bases like Area 51, Nevada. The enemy, the New World Order Nancys, have been living right under our noses, and no one suspected a thing. Wake up, America, and smell the truth. Amen, Eric. Allegedly, Bush Sr.'s New World Order Nancy Skull and Bones lawyers from the Avalon Project are the ones who altered the document and many others by erasing the effective year for Germany to surrender. The illegal alteration instantly makes the entire document null and void. Bro. The Avalon Project was allegedly formed by rich, WASP, socialite, New World Order Republican, Nancy idealistic, Skull and Bones, Yale lawyers. The alleged purpose for this creation of the Avalon Project was to make historically important U.S. government documents like the German Surrender Agreement and others available for the general public to view in the U.S. National Archives, also to write and publish history books for America's schools. These Skull and Bones lawyers were also supposed to translate important historical documents that were in foreign languages into the English language. During the process of preparing these important American historical documents for public viewing, the New World Order Skull and Bones lawyers illegally conspired to erase, alter, and forge these documents to suit their own Nancy New World Order needs. The Avalon Project was also in charge of editing and keeping track of the Nuremberg Nancy trial historical records. But effectively, Eric O'Ryan here is saying that Germany never surrendered. Can you imagine a bunch of lawyers doing something like this? You guys know how the H-Cost happened? A bunch of lawyers got in a room. So I don't doubt this for a second. Here, this is what Otto Skorzeny said about all of us. By now, almost everyone has forgotten all about the Nancys. The U.S. government illegally lied to its citizens about who really won World War II. Americans are too quick to believe whatever the government tells them. The American public as a whole are not very smart. They've been conditioned like Pavlovian dogs to accept and believe whatever the U.S. government tells them to, like good slaves. That's what Otto Skorzeny said. Well, guess what, America? Now is the time to get ready to defend yourselves. Right now, you're probably thinking to yourself, holy crap, can this book be right? Be glad that you're learning about the forged surrender agreements now and not later when America is changed into the United States of Germany and part 2 of the H-Cost begins. Well, Eric, I hate to break it to you, brother. This book did not change anything because Americans are Pavlovian dogs who don't want the truth. They have the truth in front of them, but they would have to read in order to find it. So you're not wrong. You guys want to know something else awful? The illegal OSS undercover operation to smuggle Nancys into America was known as Operation Paperclip. Some of the most notorious SS Nancys were brought to America through a secret underground network known as the Odessa or Die Spinner. Hitler's entire Third Reich of SS Gestapo Nancys merged with the OSS to create the CIA. The CIA is Hitler's Third Reich in America. Schmittler and his closest high-ranking SS Nancy buddies were illegally smuggled out of Berlin, Germany, with direct help from OSS officers Frank Wisner, Curious George. They had help once they arrived in America from the Assistant Secretary of War and ardent Nancy sympathizer John J. McCloy and the Dulles brothers Nancys. See them? There they are. There's our boys. There's our boys. The CIA was created to lie to the American public. The CIA is just another name for Schmittler's Third Reich of Nancys. It was created to hide its beloved Nancys, to keep non-polluting, non-oil burning, free energy, Tesla technology hidden from the American public and the rest of the world, and to help its Nancys create a Fourth Reich or New World Order in America. It was not created to protect or help American citizens, only its Nancys. Can you name one good thing the CIA has ever done for America? You can't? Neither can I. Suckers. You're going to love this. Allegedly, Schmittler and Prescott Bush set up the American Office of Strategic Services, or OSS, with young Curious George and SS Nancy Commando Otto Skorzeny as its leaders. The Office of Strategic Services really stood for the other SS Gestapo. I'm tired. I'm so tired, guys. And yeah, the Nancy's/CIA are very good at causing deadly car accidents or giving heart attacks to people who stand in their way of creating a new world order. Scorzani claims that Curious George was a junkie. He was constantly smacked out to escape his guilty conscience. That's how he earned his name Poppy. Dude, that would make sense. That would make sense since he was like, oh, drugs, we gotta flood drugs everywhere. Put it everywhere. So apparently President Roosevelt heard about that forgery of that document, you know, the one that said that Germany didn't actually surrender. He was horrified and shocked. He refused to go along with the cover-up. So he was poisoned because he had been sick throughout the later years. No one suspected a thing when he died right before the supposed end of World War II. Dude, I'm telling you, anytime anyone dies, it's it's for a reason at this point. I'm sure. When General Patton learned about the illegal pact that Prescott and Curious George allegedly made with Schmittler to bring his entire Third Reich of Nazis to America, he too was shocked and horrified. He refused to go along with the illegal pact, so he too was killed by the Nazis in a premeditated car accident. Everyone who stands in the way of the illegal New World Order Pact are coerced into accepting a bribe or killed. That is true. But yeah, guys, it seems like most of this is all coming from the Vatican. I think that they're leading the charge on this. And of course they are. Who's going to be dead at the end of this? Jewish people and Muslim people. That's their plan. They're literally like throwing Jewish people there. So everyone hates Jewish people because what they're doing is bad. They know it's bad. And then they're going to start a war with the Muslim folk in that area and then dip out and probably drop a big one on top of I-word. And then it'll just be all the white Christian religions and then they can start fighting each other. Like, this never ends. It never ends. Look, it hasn't ended. This is just one continuous stream of people murdering each other since like, dude, a million years ago. I don't know. It's crazy. But here we go. We get into the good shit with Alan Dulles, chief architect of U.S. Nancy's business and spy network, spy at the U.S. Embassy in Bern, Switzerland, collecting political data for the State Department on Germany and the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So true. Worked with his brother, John Foster Dulles, as a specialist for Sullivan and Cromwell. Dude, I hate these people. But yeah, guys, this was rich people doing a fascism and winning and keeping it secret up until now. Other U.S. millionaires allied to the Nancys were William Randolph Hearst Sr., Andrew Mellon, Irene DuPont, Henry Ford, and J.P. Morgan. Yep. All of them. They were even involved in a fascist plot to overthrow the U.S. government in 1934, and then it really stuck in 1945 or whatever. Now, here we go. Let's get into the good stuff. After World War II, American and German submarines and cargo ships were used to transport their illegal Nancy technology to America. The U.S. and the Nancy cargo and trillions of dollars of stolen Jewish Holocaust money and stolen Tesla technology to America. The SS Nancys were smuggled into our country through the North Atlantic Ocean, just off the coast of Montauk. Bro, you guys ever heard of the Montauk Project? The Montauk Experiment? As the American submarines arrived off the coast of Montauk, New York at night, the OSS was waiting to pick them up on locally owned commercial fishing boats. The Nancys were then given fishermen's clothes to put on, and they were taken to Camp Hero on Montauk. The Nancys were given a hero's welcome when they arrived, and they've been treated like royalty ever since. But yeah, he also claims that none of these guys, Otto Scorzani told Eric Orion, that none of these guys pay taxes too. Of course they don't. They don't have to pay taxes, and they're Nancys. Bro, don't make me be a Nancy. Do all Nancys not get to pay taxes? No, I'm just kidding. Fuck them Nancys. But bro, do you see this? The submarine thing? This is after 1945. Do you remember what our thing is called? And bro, I'm going to tell you right now, if Camp Hero is anywhere near where the Montauk experiment was, we're going to have problems, okay? Bro, I'm telling, oh no. Bro, this is where the Montauk Project was, I think right here. Bro. Okay, so do we understand what's happened here? The project that we were looking into, it was called Operation Pastorius. right? Operation was named by Admiral Wilhelm Canaris, chief of the German Abwehr, for Francis Daniel Pastorius, the organizer of the first organized settlement of Germans in America. Dude, this was the first one. Oh my God. Brother. This was a test. What? This was a test to see, dude. This was just a test to see if they could do it without getting caught, and they weren't. And then they just started doing it. Oh my God, bro. Come on. Come on, brother. This has to stop. All of it has to stop. Oh my God. Okay, where is he? Where is this fucking bitch? Pastorius. Daniel Pastorius, a German-born educator, lawyer, poet, now part of the Philadelphia, the first Parliament German. Dude. The first permanent German-American settlement and the gateway for subsequent immigrants from Germany. Dude! The Nancys didn't name this. The CIA did. Well, the Nancys are the CIA. Dude, every single one of those people, every single one of our people is somebody. And we have to get to who they all are. Who are they? We need to know, friendos. So, if you've ever seen any of these people, we gotta start. Okay, this is Peter Thiel's dad or uncle. Oh, wait, they said in that thing that Peter Thiel was short and stock. He was a short and stocky guy, remember? Klaus Thiel was from Germany. We used to call him the Gestapo. He was kind of a stocky, short guy. This dude is 5'7". Will we call him stocky? Is this dude short and stocky? He might be, bro. He's kind of short, right? 5.5 feet. That's kind of short. Okay, so this could be Klaus too, but I bet he went from Werner to Herbert. That seems about right? I don't know, guys. I'm pretty sure we're on to this. Dude, none of these guys died. Not a single one. Not a single one. So we got to figure out who these all are. I swear to God, this dude is like Joe Biden or something. Like, brother, what is happening? Oh my gosh. But yeah, anyway, they were all executed for having 2 crates of wire, it looks like, and a bunch of hay. So yeah, we're doomed, guys. It's the end. It's the end of the world as we know it. But I'm feeling pretty good, actually. I love you guys. I love my friends. We're crushing it. He told me little Austin is a bitch, and I said, no, I actually think he might be a Nancy. He told me his uncle was named Roger, and was creeping on the squirrel that we saw on the internet named Olivia. Goodbye, Nancy's, we're coming after you. Goodbye, Nancy's, we're coming for Austin. Goodbye, Nancy, and Peter Thiel to you. And Elon, you're done. You're done, Roger. You're done. Austin's aunt and uncle. Dude, this is the same person, am I right? Come on. Let's see. What do we think? He told me. What do you think? It's his brother? Could be him. That's it. Look at that, babies. Into the night, and I said, hold on, you bunch of Nancys, and it's almost over. You are toast because you're a bunch of Nancys. Won't you listen to me? Told me I've seen it all before. The Third Reich, it sucked just as much as the Fourth. Austin, you're fucking toast and you're ugly as a dog. Won't you listen to me? Austin, you're toast, you're cooked you're done, you're over, it's done, you gotta pack it up. It's almost over. The fourth bike is almost over. It's almost over, 'cause I got you in my sights. I'm gonna take you out by night. I'm the cat that knitted anus, and I'm gonna take you down with my friends Dante and Nicole. We don't love you. Goodbye, Nancy. We don't fuck with you, bitches. Hey, I just want to say, Klaus, Werner, you're very pretty. And you know what? If you wanted to live your life as a woman, you should be able to. And I'm sorry you had to grow up as a Nancy, but we're gonna beat the ever-living fuck out of your children. We're gonna beat the shit out of your grandchildren. We're gonna scalp your uncle. We're gonna scalp your niece and nephew, because we don't fuck with Nancys, okay? So, goodbye, Nancys. We don't fuck with you. Losers. You're ugly. Look at how ugly these people are. They think that they're the superior being. Look at these heads, man. They're so fucking bony and oblong. What's going on? What happens to you for you to get this, to be this ugly and have this much, like, you know, confidence that you are superior to other people? It's just money, right? Money's gotta go. We're done with the money, okay, guys? So have a good night. Hold on, I want to give Austin's uncle or grandpa a kiss before we go to sleep here. Sorry you guys have to know this information, but I love you, okay? Good night. Spread this information before the CIA gets me. Bye! I love you, Austin.